Not every film can be Citizen Kane, but even critics have claimed that it was shit in its day. Some films are shit and shit they will stay, but some get better over time because of Nicolas Cage. So which film stays shit forever? And which one's got a little bit better? Second chance movies. No poor bloods were harmed in the making of this podcast.
Welcome to Second Chance Movies, the podcast where we rewatch movies and decide if they deserve a second chance.
I'm Joe Harper, your host who loves rewatching movies and reading comic books, even if they are in black and white.
And I'm Jessica Kwazz, your host who's a one and done kind of movie viewer who thinks Mickey Rourke's really cool, actually. And today we're talking about the one and only Sin City.
Wow. Well, I don't think there was any special reason we chose Sin City. We just both collectively thought, hey, we haven't seen this in a long time. Hey, let's just watch this movie.
Yeah, I was like super into this movie when it came out and had not seen it in a very long time and was just curious as to what I would think of it now. So yeah, we were like, hey, why not?
Well, for those who do not remember Sin City, I am going to say, spoiler alert, we're going to be talking about this movie. So there's your warning. For those who did not remember what Sin City was about, let's see what IMDb had to say. A movie that explores the dark and miserable town based in City tells the story of three different people, all caught up in a violent corruption.
Wow. Okay, I don't like opening a summary saying a movie. Like, yeah, we know.
This is a movie.
What?
Hey guys, you're listening to a podcast right now.
I think that that's actually like a really horrible summary because there's a lot more going on than just like a movie that follows three characters and they do violent things. It's like big ensemble based on a graphic novel of a ton of different characters who live in this corrupt, bleak city.
Yeah. I don't know how often they say the phrase Basin City, because when I read it, I was like, I don't remember that was the name of the city.
So
yeah.
I remember that's the name of the city because only because of this recent rewatch. I didn't remember that from back in the day, but a few times they pan across the like welcome to Basin City and the B and A are like destroyed from bullet holes, so it looks like welcome to Sin City, and I thought, hey, that's pretty cool. But yeah, the name of the city does not matter. We did not need that in the summary.
Yeah. The way I describe this movie to people is it's a film noir based off a comic book, and it feels like a Tarantino movie.
Yeah.
Mostly because he's a guest director in one scene.
What scene? Because I don't know what he did for this. Do you know?
The scene that Tarantino directed is the drive to the pit scene, which Dwight talks to a very dead Jackie boy.
Huh, okay. That's interesting because in the opening credits it says guest director Tarantino, and that's not a credit you see often, so I did not know what that meant.
That seemed like a really weird credit to me.
Yeah.
And more like a fun fact that you learn later when you're like diving into Wikipedia about this. But one of his good director friends, Robert Rodriguez, is the director, and so that's essentially why it kind of feels like Tarantino movie, because those two have a very similar vibe in their movies.
Yeah, and they've been buds for a while. I love Robert Rodriguez. I think his movies are always really fun. They're very specific. And fun fact, he just recently directed the Rain on Me music video. Lady Gaga and Ariana Grande, and the music video is so dope. And at the end, it's directed by Robert Rodriguez, and my mind was blown. So yeah, I like the dude. And He also has a really fascinating book, Rebel Without a Crew, where he talks about his very first movie that he funded all on his own. It's just like he is like true like working class filmmaker, and I like him a lot. And I hope he's not a dirtbag because
I don't think he is.
I hope not.
As far as I can tell, he seems really chill, really friendly. He directed an episode of The Mandalorian recently. So
Oh yeah,
he's
he's just fun. He's just really like he's kind of
that
fun
cute
vibe.
video of him playing his guitar with Baby Yoda. Would you like to hear some reviews, Jessica?
You know, I always want to hear reviews. I love hearing what the people were saying.
I found some reviews this time, and
oh my goodness.
To start off, I do want to say Rotten Tomatoes tomato meter, the critics had 77%, and the audience 78%. So everyone was pretty on board. This was almost a B movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was good. We liked it. It wasn't the very best of movie, but it's good. We like it.
Okay, I would have expected the audience score to be higher than only 78 because I thought people were really into this movie.
Maybe it was just like younger people were super into it, and then everyone else was like, "Yeah, it's all right." Who knows? Yeah. I don't know. Let's start off with a positive. We always like hearing some good stuff. Matthew Lucas, The Dispatch, like a shot of pure adrenaline straight through the heart.
Oh, that's it?
Like a shot of pure adrenaline straight to the heart.
Okay, I thought that was the beginning of like his sentence, but
yeah.
Okay,
he started with the word "like," which is really confusing.
Yeah, it's seems like a half a thought. So okay. I mean, there's a lot of adrenaline. There's a lot of things happening. So, sure.
David Sturrett of Christian Science Monitor.
Oh, what did the Christians have to say?
The cast is excellent, and the computer-generated visuals are consistently stunning. Too bad the narration sounds like a string of cliches from creaky old detective novels.
Wow.
Duh, it's a noir. Like, it's definitely a style.
Yes.
So, Joshua Starnes, comingsoon.net. Sin City is a lot of things, but most of all, it's fun. It may not be for everyone, but everyone should see it once anyway, just to find out if it's for them.
That's just like a really chill review.
Guess whose review I found?
Is it my girl?
Yeah, it's No Minnow.
No Minnow.
Common Sense Media.
Common Sense Media this time. She changes, so good for her.
She's
getting stable work.
She's worked for a lot of people. Good for her. She did right. This extremely violent movie is not for kids. I agree.
Yeah, it's definitely not. Whoever said it was.
Sense.
Common Sense Media. Oh, Meneno does not like violence. She hates it. They make her watch things she does not want to watch. Yeah, there's definitely a target audience for this movie, and I don't think anyone ever implied it was for children, but...
Renee Rodriguez, Miami Herald. Once the novelty of its considerable razzle-dazzle wears off, the film just sits there because Rodriguez has made one simple but fatal mistake. As cinematic as they are, Miller's graphic novels aren't movies.
Girl, Renee, calm down.
Renee, a gentleman's name.
Calm. It's a man? Okay, well.
It's a man. Renee the man.
Renee, calm down. Get it together. It's not that big a deal. I think it is very impressive to take this type of adaptation and make it work on film. I do. And I think that in terms of script and how like scripts are formulas, just like any other type of storytelling, I think it kind of works to be able to shove all this into a script.
So, current Jessica, what did past Jessica think of the first time she watched this?
Past Jessica thought this movie was dope as hell. Like, so into it. Was like, yeah, this is great. I thought it was so cool.
When was the first viewing, I guess? Let's be more specific.
I did not see it in theaters. I don't, or if I did, I don't remember seeing it in theaters. But I know I saw it shortly after it came out, like on DVD. And I don't know, like if I watched, I think I just watched it by myself. Um, I was able to watch a lot of really inappropriate things for my age.
Oh, we've
And
heard.
and this was one of them. Because when
Oh.
did this come out? 2005.
5.
So
2005.
I was like 11 in Catholic school. So,
Oh my God.
so I was like, yeah, let's sin.
I had to have been 18, 17, 18. I was in high school.
Okay.
This might have been junior or senior year of high school.
I think so like if I saw it when it came out on DVD 2005, 2006, I was still in middle school. I still was like in Catholic school.
Wow, that is quite early to be watching this.
Very early. And again, I'm in Catholic school. So
I just want to shout out to Joe and Mama Dawn. Shame on you guys for letting Jessica watch these movies, but also thank you. That way she has developed her movie taste over the years, and we became friends because of movies. So
I guess that's
really
also why I can handle violence in movies, because turns out I was doing it at a very young age. And I thought it was fucking awesome. I thought it was so cool. I just liked the style, the visuals, you know, these like kooky, weird characters. I was into it, super into it.
I watched this in high school. I'm pretty sure I saw it in the theaters. And I liked it a lot. I thought it was visually really cool. It got me, I was kind of getting into like, you know, movies in the sense of I want to watch all the behind the scenes, how they make movies. And this is one of those movies that's really interesting to see how it is filmed. That way they can animate it in a way to make it look the way it does. And that in itself should be its own movie for us to enjoy.
Yeah, I agree with that. Where like I saw it at a time where I was like really fascinated in movies in general and the process of it. And so seeing something like this was just really cool because it was very different, and like, how did they pull this off? My young brain was wondering.
I ran out because when I saw the trailer, I thought this looks really cool, and I learned that it's a comic book. I ran out and I bought those comic books. Not only did I buy 1 or 2 or even 3, because the movie's based off of 3 of the 7, I bought all 7.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna keep doing that. So yeah, I read them all and I thought these are fun. And then I think it was even more entertaining seeing it or reading it and then seeing it come to life. I think that's kind of the better route to go. But not everyone is into comics or into reading. So whatever, man.
Yeah. I do think it is really cool how this did widen the audience to know what Sin City even was.
Jessica.
Yes.
How'd you feel the second chance around? What did you like? What did you not like?
So before I talk about my actual watching, I just want to say that when we were discussing this movie, from when we decided we'd watch it to like when I actually sat down and watched it, I was expecting it to not be as great as I remembered. I was expecting it to be like really aged and like just one of those movies where I think like, why was I so into this? This is weird. And that was not the experience I had while watching this. So that was like a very pleasant surprise that a lot of the parts of the movie still hold up. The visuals I really do like. I will say they're not as like groundbreaking as they were in 2005, but they're still like really fun and really specific and very stylized.
It looks different than anything else out there.
Yeah, even for like black and white movies, it's not a typical black and white movie at all.
It's definitely a modern black and white movie.
So visually, it's still really like looks super cool, which is really impressive because it has been over a decade since I've seen it. We've had all these big event movies with crazy special effects come out. So for it to still like look really awesome, I think it's super impressive.
Yeah. I think that's the number one thing this movie is bringing is visuals. So let's talk about the comic. It's inspiration.
All
So
right.
the comic, for those of you who may not know and didn't listen to the beginning of this podcast, I have all 7 of the books in which it takes place. But the movie itself takes its content from book 1, The Hard Goodbye. It's all about Marv. Book number 3, The Big Fat Kill. That's Dwight's story. And book number 4, That Yellow Bastard. And that's Cardigan's story.
Oh, they skipped over the 3rd book. It was 1, 2, and 4?
It was 1, 3, and 4.
1, 3, and 4. Okay. So we skipped
Number
over
2. Number 2 is A Dame to Kill For, which is the subtitle of its sequel, which we're not going to talk about this time because I don't remember it. And Jessica didn't see it.
I didn't even see it, which is really disappointing.
The very brief part in the beginning with Josh Hartnett comes from book number 6, which is entitled Booze, Broads, and Bullets. This one has, I think, more of like little vignettes and stuff.
Okay.
So they pulled that. While we're on the topic of that one, that is how this movie got started. Robert Rodriguez and Frank Miller, I think, wanted to make this and to prove to the other studios like this could visually look good. They filmed that scene with Hartnett and Marley Shelton and animated it to make it look good to show them this is what we're doing.
Oh, that's really cool. I didn't know that.
And so I'm going to say this movie still holds up. It looks good. What I really enjoy about it, especially from reading the comics, is how much it is just like copy paste to like look just like the printed pictures.
This is a very specific thing to like, but I like the opening credits because they do it in a way that's very like stylized, kind of campy now. But the movie's also campy at times.
Where it was super cheesy.
But I like the showing of like the graphic novel characters with the actor's name.
That part was nice. That part nice.
That so you can be like, okay, that's who that is. And
what it's supposed to look like. Yeah.
What it's supposed to look like. In terms of what I liked, there's also something shocking that I didn't realize how much I liked until this go around. And that's Brittany Murphy in this movie.
And you only knew about it this go around?
Well, okay. I mean, the first go around, I definitely liked it. I liked her. But she didn't like stick out. She was just someone I always liked and thought was cool. And it's just really weird watching movies with her now because she passed away so young. And you're kind of like, damn, we were really robbed. And she was not like, in my opinion, she was not taken as seriously as an actress that she should have been because she really could do it all. And this movie, she's doing it all, like all of it.
I feel like some of her roles in other movies are just like rom-coms that are just like she's just the girl in a rom-com. But then we get roles like Don't Say a Word and even King of the Hill, where she has to play like an overly stupid but like charming and naive like niece. Like I really like her in King of the Hill so much.
I really just like her. I like her so much. And in this role, like she really, really stuck out. And her performance is one for me that really holds up because she gets the material. The material is very specific, I feel like, for acting, because you have to be able to have a balance of almost everything.
It's a very heavy noir tone, like crime, gritty, like detective, like, you know, the cold rain dropped in on, and like it's just like that vibe the entire time. It does not let up, and you're either in it or you're not. Like,
yeah. And on top of that, there's also like this almost absurdity to it, this over the top at times where it comes up and then goes down. Like, so you have to be able to play serious and then also play a layer of like, yeah, I got,
Like,
like campy.
I know this is goofy, and I'm hamming it
Yeah.
up for you.
Yeah, and so it's real. I was noticing this time around the people that are able to do it and the people that are not able to do it. And Brittany Murphy.
I knew that the first go round. I knew, like, there are some people that are very good in this, and then there's some people that stick out like a sore thumb. This
They
is not
really
the material for
do.
them. I do want to say Rodriguez seems like the type of guy that is just wants to make a fun movie and have fun with his friends. So, like, I can't get mad at his casting choices because it does seem like he's just having fun with his buds.
Yeah.
And so, like, you know what? I don't really care. Their performance is not great, but they're having fun.
Yeah, there's not a performance that like makes me mad. There's just performances where I'm like, well, that didn't really work out, honey. But I just think for me, this go around, Brittany Murphy was like the shining star. Like, I just thought she's not in it enough, and when she has like her big scene, she really steals the show. And I just really, really liked it this time around.
Perfection, Rourke. Mickey Rourke is Marv. This is the thing that like got him back on the map after not doing any like leading roles for a long time. And it probably is the thing that got him The Wrestler, which is got him that Oscar nom. And The Wrestler is one of my favorite performances on screen. I think the material just fits well with his like look and style and just the way he talks. Everything about Marv and Mickey Rourke together, I couldn't see anybody else doing this.
I fully agree. And that was also something I was so surprised at with how much I liked Marv and was like really into him and his story. I was fully in. I thought like, wow, this is like, yeah, you're right. Mickey Rourke is his role. And he's just like, he gets in. He's in it in a way that like sucks you into. And you're just like, yeah, Marv to me, he was the best part of this rewatch.
He is the best part. Sidebar for everyone who has not seen this or hasn't seen it in a while, the movie's divided up into 3 parts, the 3 books that I mentioned earlier. And so like some of the characters intertwine throughout it. Our big main characters of each book, Marv, Dwight, and Hartigan. And those are the ones I think are the ones that need to be bringing it hard. And then all the other minor characters kind of like some sprinkle in and out of the others, which I think is fun.
I think that's fun too. I enjoyed tying them together.
So who is in our yay we like them pile?
Okay.
Let's see how many, because these are all the ones I think they fit the tone of this movie.
Okay, so I made my acting list into great and not great.
Okay.
Very simple.
I feel like our like and our great are the same thing.
Yeah, like so perfection and like are my great and like whatever and not good or in my not great.
Do you want to go with your list or my list?
I'll just say my list really quickly because it's just 2 parts. So the people that I think were great and who like stand out still for greatness is Brittany Murphy, Mickey Rourke, Benicio del Toro, Duncan Clark, Bruce Willis, Nick Stahl.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why I'm looking at my list. I already know, though. Yes.
Oh, Peanut just came in. Hi, baby.
What? Everyone, there's a dog in the room.
There's a dog in the room. Oh, do you like Sin City? Did you want to come talk about it? Okay, so my not greats.
Interesting. That's where it left off. Okay.
So yeah, so those were my greats. My not greats were Rosario Dawson, Alexis Bledel.
I'll agree with, yeah, that was a dislike for me.
She's rough. It stands out. Josh Hartnett.
Okay.
Clive Owen.
Interesting.
And Jessica Alba.
Okay. Well, yeah. He doesn't fit in this universe.
No, and like saying they're not great, it's not like necessarily like a dig at these people being like you sucked and ruined the movie. It's not that.
They
it's
just
like
weren't fit for this tone.
Yeah, and again, this is a very like specific type of story, and you need to be able to do a lot of things acting wise for it. Some people
So,
could, some people couldn't.
in my like category,
Okay.
I don't know, you missed this person entirely, Elijah Wood.
Oh my God. Yeah, I did. No, he's definitely in my great category.
I don't think he says a single line, but he just has like the presence. Elijah Wood's an actor. I've liked him ever after Lord of the Rings. I think he's been making fantastic choices, being in the
Yeah.
weirdest things, loving it.
He can just like be such a creepy, gross weirdo. Like he's a monster in this movie. And yeah, he doesn't say a thing. And then he can just be like nice and charming. Like he knows how to just do it all. So yeah, he's on my great list. I'm sorry. I forgot him.
For this list, the disagreement we had was I like Rosario Dawson in this. I think she looks fun, the mohawk thing that she's got going on in Prostitute Land, and then I just like her vibe. She's always just got like the badass vibe, and she fits in this world.
So for me, she goes like to like, I'm gonna kill you. It's like, okay, girl, we get it. I
don't mind, but that's Prostitute Land though.
I guess
She's got to be the toughest. She's got to be the toughest son bitch in that room.
But to me, it's almost like a caricature of like tough, and I don't.
The whole
like
thing
it.
is nothing but caricatures. It's
I know.
goofy noir.
I don't know how to
back to my
describe
list.
it. I just didn't like it. It didn't
Back
do it for
to
me.
my list.
Okay.
Two people you left out are in my like column.
Oh shit.
But to be fair, I mean they're in the opening credits, but they each get like one scene each. So I can see why you would forget that they're there. Rutger Hauer plays the Cardinal Rourke.
Yes.
And he just has one scene. He's still got that Blade Runner vibe. He fits in this world.
I mean, that one scene is really chilling, and
so the last person on my like list is Powers Booth, and you left him out.
Yeah,
and he plays Senator Rourke. Again, it's just one scene, but he's got that deep gravitas voice. It's just good. It fits in this world.
It does.
Fun note that Jessica doesn't know, but is going to eventually. He's in MacGruber.
That's fun. He's really fun.
He's MacGruber's boss.
Oh my god,
MacGruber, get over here.
He is like, he's just got this like really good like stern like
which
attitude.
Is why he's the perfect choice.
Because that.
MacGruber, but yeah.
Oh, in MacGruber. They were gonna say something.
Yeah, I could talk about MacGruber all day.
I know you could.
I also have two other categories. I have my dislike, which is Alba, Alexis Bledel, and Michael Madsen is just, I don't think fits the tone of this movie.
I don't either. It's just like him being him, kind of.
Hardigan, get over it. Like it's just flat.
Him being him.
I feel flat, and I know he can do better.
That's true. And I think, like you were saying, it's like Robert Rodriguez just threw his buddies in and had fun, and that's probably the case. But it's like, yeah, he did stick out a bit because it's just
the people that are my whatever, which I think you left 3 of the 4 out. I put all the main cast. You were like, put everyone that's in the title credits. Sure. Oh, your list doesn't include them all. Okay. Jamie King.
Very whatever. Yeah, whatever.
Like, I didn't hate it, but I don't think it was like.
I think that's why I forgot, because it could have been. Sure.
We could have. Devon Aoki, who is Miho.
Miho,
but, you know, she doesn't really like say anything, so that's why she's in my whatever. You know, her look, I think is more of a style choice of just straight face, blank face.
Yeah.
And so I can't fault her for that. The character super cool, but like, I don't think it's something that like is any actress's job to bring something to the straight face silent person.
Right. There's only so much range, and what she's given, she does fine.
Yeah. So
whatever. Yeah.
So whatever. And then I also have Josh Hartnett and Marley Shelton, because they're really just briefly in the beginning and Hartnett's briefly at the end. And like his dialogue, I could tell he's trying, but also I don't like it. That might be my choice. So I think he could fit in this universe. But again, this is also we're testing out the waters and then they hadn't committed to a big thing, and oh fuck, we should have edited or reshot this, or who knows.
It could be that, because yeah, for his role, it just felt like, oh, there's Josh Hartnett. Like he didn't go into it. So
Marley Shelton, who is Wendy Peppercorn, she says nothing, so she just gets shot.
Yeah, so she again doesn't have much to have to give. So yeah.
So yeah,
I mean, we pretty much agree, just except for Rosario Dawson. But
I know you really don't like her.
I used to, but now I see her acting, and I'm like, girl, you're just kind of doing the same thing.
Okay.
You know,
but there's a lot of actors that do that. They do like the same thing.
Yeah.
So I know you like a lot of this movie. What did you not like about this movie? Or do you have more things you like? Because I think the big things in this movie are the visuals, its tone, dialogue, and the handful of characters can make or break that world. So
yeah, so I agree. This movie is definitely about visuals, the style, the tone, and this ensemble. And for the most part, even though we just went through the ones that like we liked or didn't like, the ensemble works pretty well still, I think. The ones that are great make up for the ones that are bad, in my opinion.
Story-wise, is there any one story that you like more than the others?
Yes.
Because like to me, like I think they're all equally, they're all nice, they're all interesting.
Mm-hmm.
There's no, like I don't know, it's just they're just there, and they just play out. Hey, that was it.
So I really like Marv's story because it's a little hokey. He's on this murder mystery, and it turns out to be a thing that's
he wants to avenge the girl, the prostitute he loves,
Goldie.
And so his whole mission is kill the people that are responsible for Goldie's death.
And most people think he did it. And then he meets like her twin sister, who's also like, what happened to Goldie? And they find out. And it's very noir. That's like a big noir moment. Same with Bruce Willis. But yeah, I think what it was Mickey Rourke was just really good. So it was very captivating. I was really into that one more than the other two. I liked the Clive Owen chapter, but not because of him, because of all the ladies in it. Like, I liked what was happening. I don't think like he made it or broke it. I think he was just kind of there. And then the Bruce Willis and Jessica Alba one for me fell flat this time around. I wasn't as into it.
What I think is weird about that last one is it seems like she like kisses him and wants to get sexual, and I'm thought, no, I think she should just see him as like the father figure that helped rescue him, because he also, I know he says I love you or whatever, but I don't think it's like a sexual love. I think it's like a parental love, like I'm your guardian angel and I care about you.
Yeah, it's super weird now to watch it. Also, Jessica Alba's supposed to be 19 in this movie.
Okay.
Sure. So that, I think that stuck out to me more too, because I liked this idea of him being like this protective of this naive, this sweet, innocent girl. And and he goes to jail, and she's writing him letters because he saved her from terrible trauma. So I like that he is this guy that's just doing the right thing, helping this girl out, helping a child out of this very traumatic experience. And they form this bond of like, thank you, you saved me. And he's like, yeah, I wanted to save you. And it's very like father-daughter. And at one point he literally refers to her as the daughter he never had. A few years go by, he gets out of prison, and now she's this like hot stripper. The first time she sees him since she was a child, she like runs up and like puts her mouth on his, like tries to immediately like.
That's a weird first reaction.
Really strange.
To a guy you knew for one night.
One night, who saved you from trauma. And
I still think there was trauma in that night, because she witnessed him shoot a guy in the dick, and then he got shot up.
Yeah, and not to mention she had been kidnapped
Yeah.
and there was impending doom coming for her. So like
Yeah.
this is very traumatic. So I also feel like it's kind of weird that her love for him is based on this like deep childhood trauma. Like that's a little icky too. Like I don't like that. I would have liked it a lot more if it was just like father-daughter style and we didn't even like get into like any sort of weird sexual desires. They just kiss, but even that I was like, I don't like that. Like that's super weird. So I did not like that as much. I also found it kind of strange that for this particular story, it's bookended similar to Josh Hartnett, where it starts in the beginning and ends at the end, as opposed to
just have it
just
all one clip.
yeah, just have it all be one thing.
It
I
is weird.
forgot. I forgot
Maybe
that it was like that.
maybe because it's the time jump. But like
It could
all of
be.
it's but it's not told in sequential order because Marv pops up in Hardigan's story. So
Yeah, and Elijah Woods is
oh
it
yeah.
pops up very so he's still there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
know.
not in sequence. I guess it was maybe just a way for like because it's Bruce Willis and Jessica Alba. Jessica Alba was huge at the time. Maybe just a way to be like, come on in, watch this movie. You're gonna like it, and then we're gonna get to that later. So in terms of story, that's how I felt. I felt like Marv, Clive Owen, but not for Clive Owen, and Bruce Willis and Nancy stuff. Okay, so one thing I didn't like, or just like really bothered me, was colorization choices. So as we said, it's black and white mostly, and there's some specks of color.
That's a style choice to make it look like the black and white pages
right.
of the comic book.
Yes, and I think that works super well. It looks really cool. The black and white really actually pops and makes it feel animated and feel like a graphic novel. So it's not just like a typical black and white movie. It's done so in a way with depth that
it also
works.
Helps them. I think would help them because they can add things that aren't really there because it's not a realistic looking world.
Exactly, and I think it's held up very well over time. But there's some strange choices when it comes to what we will colorize and what we won't. So what
are the weird things?
I'm glad you asked because I wrote some down. So for instance, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So what didn't work is like I noticed like Clive Owen's sneakers were colorized. I just thought that's weird. Why is everything else black and white but his shoes are not? Like that's strange.
I noticed his shoes.
It stuck out to me because it's like, okay, what's the choice behind making the shoes colorful?
You know what I think it is they probably were like, we got to make a color in each one of them. Each one of them has to have a certain color that pops, and the red shoes was I don't think it really matters.
No.
He also draw attention that he's wearing like Converse in this. And
yeah,
like, that's weird.
That's weird. At one point, Mickey Rourke is taking a bunch of pills, and the bottle is colored, which also I don't know, like why? Like why is the bottle orange?
I don't know. That's just because we all know what that is supposed to look like.
But he's like I know what he's doing, you know. So that's weird. Like there were some things like that where I picked up and was like, why is that in color and that's not?
I mean, the best thing that's in color that's not is Yellow Bastard.
Yes, that works really well.
He's also just like a monster now because Hardigan shot his dick off and he had to have some surgery and take medicine, and that has turned him yellow. And that's such a weird visual, but it's so cool.
It's really cool. And what's interesting too with him is like his blood and his guts are also yellow. So it's like, whoa, this is wild. I like that. There are some colorization choices that work very well. Like I like that Goldie is in color and she's got beautiful gold hair. And then when it's her twin sister, she's in black and white. So we can tell the difference between the two. I think that that's a really cool choice. I like that some of the cars are colorized, but again, it's like some cars are and some cars aren't. So like, why did we do some but not others?
It's few and far between. So
it is few and far between, but it's not super consistent. And like there was times where the blood is either white, which I thought that's cool. Like the white blood looks really cool because we
Yeah.
don't see that often. And then there were times where the blood was like blood red, and I thought, why? What are we doing here? You know,
Yeah.
like why is it
Why
somewhat
this, but
times?
not the, yeah.
Yeah, so like that to me just stuck out, and not enough for me to be like, this movie is a disaster, what a mess. But I was just like, what's the thinking here?
That's
Um,
interesting. It's a
yeah,
choice.
it's a choice. Because I would have liked, in terms of like blood, because we get a lot of bloody moments in this movie, have it all just be white. It makes it, to me, pop more and look even more like a graphic novel. And then when it's the yellow man, have it be yellow. That's fun. That's
And
cool.
if there is one as red blood, make it someone that matters that their blood is red.
Yeah, see,
But I
that's
don't
what
know.
it,
I don't know in this who would be that. I think the white really looks different and looks interesting.
it is.
And
It's
I
very
think Yellow
interesting.
Bastard is the only one that needs to have like any other different color, which is yellow blood. It's gross. It's
There
fun.
is a really cool part of a colorization choice where Mickey Rourke has found out what happened to Goldie, and cannibalism is involved. And it was really cool that I noticed this time around. Goldie had like these bright green eyes. And when he finds someone who has the cardinal who has been involved with the cannibalism, he moves in closer to Rorik. And when he moves in, light hits his eyes, and his eyes are now green, almost because he's literally, as he's moving and being like, and I ate her too, and you see her green eyes in his eyes, and I thought, whoa, that's really nuts. Like, he's talking about eating her, she's in him. Like, I thought that was cool.
The customer at the beginning, I think that's the name that they give her. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She has green eyes too.
And
When
she's got the red
Hartnett
dress.
when Hartnett, lights up her cigarette, it splashes some green in her eyes.
And I think that's cool too. If like a lighting choice changes the color, that's
Yeah.
kind of cool. But then you have like Alexis Bledel, who already has blue eyes, I think, in real life. She's got like bright blue eyes the whole time, and they're
They made
just
him
kind of
pop.
beating out at you, and you're like, okay, 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 girl, don't look
Okay,
at me.
Gilmore girl, you need to calm down. Go back.
Yeah,
What is
so
the city they live in? Hollow Spring?
Stars Hollow.
That's such a stupid name for a town.
Hollow
Stars
Springs.
Hollow. I mean, Hollow Star? I don't know. It's all dumb. Go back to
Yeah,
Stars Hollow.
Basin City is not that great, but I see when
It's
they
not.
do the Sin City, I see how they do it there. But Basin
Yeah.
is not great. Um, Honestly, for me, those are really the things I didn't like. Was just some colorization choices stuck out to me, and I didn't love the Bruce Willis and Jessica Alba stuff as much. But none of it was enough to ruin the movie for me.
Interesting.
What are some things you didn't like?
Um, I think the thing I didn't like was I've seen this too many times. I haven't seen this in like 10 or plus years, but I watched it a lot when it was first out on DVD because I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, this is so cool. It's so different. And like I've seen it all. I don't know if I've mentioned this or not, but I own all the little comic books. So
how many are there?
7 of them.
Whoa,
So
you
I
own all
was,
seven.
I was excited to like see them and compare them and read them. I'm kind of excited. I want to try and read them again. But like I know the stories. There's some things I'm like, I know this happens, but I don't know how it gets to that. And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
it all plays out. I think it's one of those movies that was like really good the first time around, but like, I don't know, it doesn't bring me the same wow. I still think it looks great. And even shots like, okay, so there's like action shots and then just like visually, like we're experimenting, having fun. So there's a really cool shot of like Mickey Rourke jumping, or the whole sequence of him escaping from police that are barging into his home. Like the bird's eye view of them running up the stairs, him jumping around, jumping through the front windshield. All this looks so cool in this like black and white style version. And then Clive Owen's little part with Dwight when he's sinking in the tar pits and everything is black and it's just like a little him floating in white, like his silhouette. I think things like that just look so fun. Um, yeah, I dig the visuals. It's still neat. Um, I'm unfortunately the wife did not decide to watch this one with me. She's not a fan of violence. I would have loved to hear her take and commentary on this, but I'm not going to get that.
Hey, it's not a movie that for everyone.
It's not for everyone. It's a very select group of people that are this movie's aimed for, and or may take to it. So
turns out some 11-year-old Catholic schoolgirls could be super into it.
Yeah.
Weird.
One thing that I could not stop thinking about the entire time was how you were going to react to all the women that get abused in this movie. Because we've talked about other movies and abuse towards women.
Yeah.
But like you haven't said a peep about it in this, and it is throughout.
There's a lot. There is a lot. And I don't like it. I don't like it.
But this is one of those movies that I think because of just the tone it is, everyone's getting violent with everyone. And so it's not really I'm hitting them because they're female. It's just they're a part of this world. Actually, that's not true. There's a lot of like, there's at least 2 times where they say, I'll never hit a girl.
Yeah.
What the hell is wrong with you? And I was like, that doesn't hold up in 2021.
It does not.
Benicio, I have never hit a woman in my life. Hits woman in front of a group of men.
So the Benicio stuff, saying I've never hit a woman and then hits a woman, that's domestic violence. That shit happens where it's like, I don't hit women, and you fucking do. Like, men lie about it. It happens. Women lie about it too. It happens. There is like Benicio is a villain. I'm not saying that it's okay, but there is a pattern of violence that we know with him. It's really tricky to think about this, because the violence towards women and the sexualization towards women in the movie makes me very uncomfortable.
Okay.
I don't like it. But I also, then there's like this flip side where we have this like really progressive ass look at sex work, which is really interesting.
It's all over the place.
So it really is. So one thing I like is that the prostitutes of, what is it? Old Town.
Prostitute land.
So the sex workers of Old Town run the area. There is no pimps. There is no cops. They are their own law. And there's this like agreed upon
in their section of town.
And there's this like kind of agreed upon truce where it's like, hey, you let us do our thing here and you do that and we're all good. And I like that idea of allowing sex workers to protect themselves, to be their own bosses, to be in charge. That is something we never see. So it's really hard because there is some, at one point too, like Clive Owen like smacks Rosario Dawson and then they start making out. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, that was weird. But again, I don't think this takes away from the movie. I don't think it makes the movie better or worse. This is just the contents of this movie, this world of Sin City that it's created. So I guess did I ruin the movie for you?
No.
Did I rip off the bit? Wait, did I take off the blinders? This movie is so perfect. Wait, oh my God.
No, I noticed it this time around for sure. And I thought about it a lot because, like I said, it's very tricky because you see, the men smacking around the women, but then you also see like your Miko who's like fucking chopping up men.
Dwight hits Gail, then they kiss.
Yeah, I did not like that moment at all.
That was odd.
It was fucking weird. Like it's very tense and they're like arguing and then he smacks her.
Roughing up Gail's face. Just like squeezing her face.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's a very, again, it's a very violent movie. It's a hard R. Yeah, but I think everyone that does any violence towards each other usually gets their comeuppance. There is not like one person that is like above the law or above I guess Dwight hits Gail, but then they hook up.
That's super weird. I don't like that. Yeah,
very
that's not
but
okay. That's not okay.
I agree, but it's what happened.
Also, what's really weird and why I didn't like Clive Owen's chapter as much is so he wants to kill Benicio del Toro because Benicio del Toro is a domestic violent man who has beaten his new girlfriend Brittany Murphy and is antagonistic towards her, and he's like, I'm not gonna let this man hurt any more women.
Yes and no. That's what's going. To me, it seems like Dwight is. I think Dwight is like the third man in that, because I think Brittany Murphy's character is in a relationship with Jackie Boy.
They were,
they were. So he's like an ex.
Yeah.
Again, it's kind of unclear, but that may be on purpose.
But
so
at one point,
so Dwight's the new guy. But yeah, it's.
But at one point, Dwight refers to himself as her boyfriend.
Okay.
So there's a level of like commitment there-ish. They're not just like hooking up. Is the
That's
idea.
Right. And so he's kissing Rosario after that.
But the thing is like the initial like I need to hunt down Benicio del Toro is because he's an abuser.
Roughing up my girlfriend.
Yeah. But then he roughs up a girl that was his ex and then gets back together with her.
It's weird.
It's a lot. That's weird. Why I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like smacking her and then just being like, that turned me on. And then let's make out and get back together. No. And I don't like too that like our like Clive Owen and Marv McRourke, they are like heroes and they're also smacking around women. Like I just don't like it. I don't like it.
The only one that's saving them, but all three stories are about men saving a woman.
Yeah.
Being their guardian angel protector. I think Hardigan's the only one that is genuinely like looking out, but then they still like force like a sexual kind of thing in it, and it's weird. So I don't think I don't know how well that's holding up in 2021.
It's not.
But it doesn't like take away from me. I mean, again, this was something comics that were written in the 90s. I don't know if I've told you about this, but I own all 7.
Whoa. I mean, that's the tricky thing too, is like
I got a workout just lifting those up each time.
Good for you, man.
Whew.
I don't see that's the tricky thing too, is like how much. I mean, it's all bad. Like, I'm not being like, oh, it's acceptable for this. No, I don't think that's the case at all. I think it's really hard to watch it in 2021, and especially from this angle of like, we're here to save the ladies. Whack. Like, that's not cool. I don't like that. But it's like, it's an adaptation. So like, how much can you fault the filmmakers, and then how much do you fault Frank Miller for creating the content? It's hard. Like, who do you place that blame on? Do you place the blame on the audience for having seen it over 10 years ago and being like, yeah, that's fine, so it's like, does everyone have responsibility in that too? Because like,
I don't think you blame anyone in this, because like, again, there's stories about, in this case, fictional characters. Some stories are made up of real people. These things really happen. Just because it's something we don't like or it's something that makes us uncomfortable doesn't mean it shouldn't be in the movie, because it's not. I think the only difference is if it glorifies the actual act. Whereas like there are sometimes when I think hitting each other, I don't think there's an instance in this where I'm like, especially because when they say like, I never hit a woman, okay, and then they immediately do it, like, well, that just takes everything you said about being honorable away.
Yeah, you're not a good guy. But
like,
I would argue though that the Clive Owen and the Rosario Dawson smack does kind of glorify it, because they immediately start making out afterwards and they're like, I love you, babe. And
but
it's like,
but that might be somebody's kink though. That's another fucked up thing.
Yeah,
I mean, you might think so, but we're not here to kink shame. But
no,
it's not one for me.
No.
Not into the beating. Nope.
Not into smacking around one bit. So I don't know. It's a tricky thing in this movie, and I don't like seeing it. That's for sure. And
But I think everyone that's doing it, except for Dwight's, I guess, everyone's kind of like a shady dude.
yeah.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it's like up to these shady dudes to like protect the women at times, which is like, okay. But then again, you have Old Town where the women protect themselves. They do not need a man, nor do they want a man around. Get out of here. So
it's a whole mix of everything, which makes it pretty confusing. Like I don't know where I stand on this.
I don't either.
What do you guys think? Have you seen the movie? Do you think it's too violent towards women? Not violent enough? Don't answer that question.
Do not. We don't want that.
Shame on you. But like, yeah. Big rule to everyone: don't hit each other.
No, just don't hit each other.
In movies, though, I think for the purposes of entertainment, we'll let the violence slide. Don't carry it on to the real world. Keep your hands to yourself.
Yeah, not cool.
I have to tell everyone that. Keep your hands to yourself.
Keep your hands to yourself. It's not hard. So, Joe.
Yeah.
Do you think that Sin City deserves a second chance?
I'm entirely divided right down the middle with this.
Wow.
So okay. I will give you my reason why yes and why no.
Sure.
No for a second chance. If you're not into ultra violence, if you're not into like the film noir, it's not for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not ever gonna enjoy it. Especially the wife, she never gonna sit through it. I've tried to show her like maybe the 2 Tarantino movies, and she's like, I don't like this. And I get it. That's fine. It's not everyone's cup of tea. But if you are like a super like film aficionado, like super into like different types of movies and very open-minded about like visuals, tone, I say go for it again. Like if you haven't seen it and you're hardcore movie buff, it's something that's very unique. I think that's the big draw. It's something that doesn't look like anything else until it's garbage sequel that was like 11 years later. Ugh, whatever. But it just looks different. It feels different. And if you are, have a strong enough stomach and or just like open to like any type of movie, you could enjoy it. So that type of person I say give it a second chance, because like me, it's been like 10 or so years. I saw it way too much when I was first out, but now that I haven't watched it in those like 10 plus years, it's fun to like go back and just see it, and it still like holds up visually so well. It's so unique. But again, the content is just off on its own thing, being that like film noir crime, so that to me was the tiring part of it. I was like, okay, I was way more into like the visuals and seeing like, how did they make this? How would they film this part? Those are the types of things I really like when I watch this. So those are the two very polar opposite. I know it's split down the middle, but that's how I feel. Me personally, I'll probably watch it again, but it'll be a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I overwatched it when I was young.
So I completely see what you're saying. And I honestly have to agree. This one is tough because I was also really into it when it came out, thought it was super dope. But now watching it as an adult, realize, this isn't for everyone. So yeah, I actually really agree with you. I think that if this is like your kind of thing, if you can handle violence, if you like a very stylized, specific kind of movie, if you're a film buff and you're into all sorts of genres, if you like film noir, then yeah, give it a second chance. If you've seen it before too, hell yeah, give it a second chance. Because like you said,
and you liked it.
Seen it and liked it, yes. If you have seen it and didn't like it, don't try again. It's not for you. And that's fine.
But hey, we could have some new listeners that were born after that, so maybe.
That's true too. I mean, yeah, for this new generation, I don't think they do.
But are they old enough? Are they old enough to watch this? I don't know.
Some are, some aren't, I think.
I guess so, yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, you watched this movie probably when you were 6, so who knows?
Yeah, and I turned out fine. Just like a lot of anxiety and thinking everyone's gonna murder me all the time. Whatever.
Young little Jessica, yes, mommy and daddy, would you like to watch the Texas Chainsaw Massacre? I sure would. Oh, cool. What other violent movies? Have you seen Scarface? That has a lot of drugs in it. Yes. Oh, yeah, I would love that. Thank you. Thank you, mama, papa.
I was so young. Like, what was happening? Oh, man.
Where my parents are like, you're not 13 years old. You're not allowed to see that PG-13 movie.
Oh, boy.
Our official stamp is
maybe.
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 This is our first maybe, and it's because it's such a unique movie.
It is.
It's not for everyone. I know that. But
it's not.
It does have an audience, and I do think it is very noteworthy in like cinematic history of just being very good comic adaptation and just visually unique.
Yeah, it's still visually pleasing to watch it now after not having seen it for a decade. So again, when it first came out, if you liked it and thought like this is cool, yeah, watch it again. You'll probably still enjoy it. Well, let us know what you think. Is Sin City your kind of movie or not? Do you care at all? If not, that's fine. Do you miss Brittany Murphy as much as I do? Do you know who Brittany Murphy is? If you don't, you gotta Google. Thank you as always for listening. Thank you to Beaty McBeatface for our dope theme song that we absolutely love each and every time we hear it. As always, you can find us on Twitter and Instagram so you can stay up to date and see us being silly and goofy all the time at Second Chance Movies on Instagram and Twitter. You can also find us wherever you listen to your podcast. You should know that you're listening to a podcast right now, or you're seeing us on YouTube. Whatever you prefer, however you want to listen, you can do it both ways. Please comment, rate, review, join our discussion. We want to hear from you guys. What do you think? Do you agree with us? Do you think we were just rambled? Are we what's up? What's up?
What do you want? What other movies would you like to hear us talk about? Because we like talking about movies.
Yeah.
So we'll discuss anything.
We will watch literally anything.
I mean, we probably won't watch Sin City Dame to Kill For, but hey, we might.
We might. It's not off the table. Only thing off the table, Woody Allen movies.
Yeah, boo.
Let us know. Let us know what you think deserves a second chance. And as always, we'll be back next Sunday with another second chance movie.
Remember, guys, whatever happens in Sin City does not stay in Sin City. And it's fucked up.
Second chance.